Welcome to Drtspr show. This is Dr. Tangella Shivaprasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello, and a very sad day as we are losing the precious Indian lives to heat wave which is prevailing across India. We have been warning Election Commission of India, Prime Minister of India, Government of India, all political parties including Rahul Gandhi and the regional parties and every state chief electoral officers about the impending heat wave across Asia, which was happening. And no wonder India is no exception. India means people of India, citizens of India having submitted constitution to themselves. India means voters of India. India means all those poll officers who go to distant, difficult, different areas to uphold the principle of people participatory constitutional democracy, wherein they sit in the polling booths in those extreme, unhelpful weather conditions, only to see that democracy survives. But did the spirit of democracy survive? These poll officers, 25 of them, out of the 74, today's newspapers, which are quoting, and they have died, along with innocent, precious Indians who have lost their lives because of these heat waves. We feel sorry. My heart goes with them. DRTSPR channels, myself and BV Subbarao, like all wonderful guests and all the viewers of DRTSPR channels, we pay the last respects and let their souls rest in peace, and our heartfelt condolences to the families. We are ashamed saying this so many at times. So many at times. Even yesterday, we have done a show. Many were trying to ask me, even before doing the show, I received a call from Tamil Nadu. What if he goes on a spiritual journey, Rajnikant? There it matters. Mr. Rajnikant, you are a better actor. You are a superstar. You have such a huge fan following. You can do a difference to India when it comes to the basic necessity called environment. Because my question was to sensitize the people of India on the imminent dangers to Himalayas. What happens if the glacier melt? Venezuela gone, Alps mountains, how they are surrendering day by day. What is happening in Switzerland? Everywhere, the same phenomena. It is becoming hotter and hotter. No fresh water to drink. Famine conditions, people struggling for food. Should the same be repeated here in India? Himalayas, they cater to more than 50% of world population, including India, China, Bhutan, Nepal, Burma, Jammu, you name the other side, you get Pakistan too. So many countries are dependent on Himalayas. That is why our pertinent question to Rajnikant ji, you have been on a spiritual journey to Himalayas. Was it the same which you undertook 6 years, 8 years ago? How is that? So much of heat, mercury rise in Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and Delhi, along with Telangana, 45 degrees, 41 to 45 degrees. I don't know what Chief Minister and the Chief Electoral Officer there are doing. I don't understand how difficult it is for a common man to survive. And we have seen Rijiju, the Earth Science Minister, trying to belittle when we exposed Honorable Governor of Delhi, issuing an order stating that from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., all those poor laborers, they should consider this time as paid absentee. That means 12 to 3 p.m., they have been allowed to go to home or live under the shade, for which people have to pay the remuneration. That means when governor can understand, the Earth Science Minister Rijiju, he is from the northeastern region. How can he ignore it? And it was putting tremendous pressure because of his opinion on Indian Meteorological Department. But there's their own instruments which try to check the mercury levels. They cannot. And even if you try to influence IMD, Mr. Rijiju Modi government and all those political parties, Rahul Gandhi to all political parties, the world data is already there because of globalization. These are some good effects of globalization. But unfortunately, our people are dying because of this heat. Election Commission of India in a sleeping mode. Drtspr channels has done a show way back on 4th May, immediately after first or second phase, stating how difficult it is for the people to come to the meetings because Modi ji, he flies in a big jet and AC cars till he reaches there, and again on the stage, dramatically you have air coolers, air conditioners. Is it not true, Mr. Modi? Election Commission of India and Rahul Gandhi, they fly in a helicopter, the same stage, again all political leaders, they have all those coolers, air conditioners, and they travel in AC cars. Even in Bharat Jodo Yatra, which he has undertaken, thanks to him, was he not resting in the caravans? Is it the same for those innocent, poor labor or people who come to the meetings and who are made to stand in the queues in that extreme heatful conditions? Election Commission of India ignores, President of India ignores, because I have sent this to everywhere. Prime Minister ignores. And unfortunately, the polling staff had to be trained in these extreme heat conditions. Many have quit and again they had to replace. That is where we said, is it going to be a free and fair election? When you don't have proper trained staff, can we expect such type of free and fair election? And those people, are they going to go and vote? Then what is happening? You have seen why Election Commission of India was not releasing the exact number of voters turned out when you compare to the maximum number of voters in that polling booth. That is what a tricky situation. That is why we said free and fair. And then how about EVMs? They are all machines. Then you have VVT pads and everything along with EVM machines. Are they going to withstand such heat? They have to clear us, which they have not done. And more than that, what we were fearing, the precious lives, 25 on poll duty among 74 heat stroke deaths. Today, the 1st June, I am finding this. It is a shame. We say the world's biggest democracy. How is that we are allowing precious lives to be lost in this way? Don't you think this is a man-made disaster? Drtspr channel's warning on 4/5/24, the show, when BV Subbarao, he was the guest, we warned them, stating that there is a heat wave in Asia persisting. Eci-Ignores global disaster, extreme heat, etc. Voters, officials, EVMs, everything are online, but not voting. You can transfer lakhs of rupees, your fortune online. You can apply for everything online, including PAN card, everything, but not voting. Election Commission of India and Supreme Court also could not take cognizance. This was the show which we have done. That way we said ignored. That is why I'm doing another show here. How good these elections were. Are they free and fair when we are losing such people to these heat waves? So let me just go to, I'll show you what we have done on those days. This I'll show you, but more so, I'll try to show you, at least after our show, the Rajasthan, Mother Earth is urging a call to action. Rajasthan High Court takes SUO-MOTO cognizance of extreme heat wave. Why Supreme Court could not, every state could not take it up? That is what really bothers me, bewilders me. क्यों केवल राजस्थान हाई कोर्ट ने ये कहा कि गर्मी ज्यादा है और इतनी गर्मी में हम किस तरह जिए, और ये नोटिस ने केंद्र और राष्ट्र सरकार को भेजा. हम शो आफ्टर शो करते थे, वही हकीकत हुआ. मदर अर्थ इज अर्जिंग ए कॉल टू एक्शन. Rajasthan High Court takes SUO-MOTO cognizance of extreme heat waves. The Rajasthan High Court on Wednesday, today is Saturday, on Wednesday took SUO-MOTO cognizance of the extreme heat wave across the country and called upon the central and state governments to take remedial steps to address climate change. It's a shame. Even after that, Election Commission of India, did it take any measure to alleviate those heat conditions for the voters first and those who are on the duty polling officers? Did you do that? Why you did not do that? And why Supreme Court, when it was hearing on the petition, 17C petitions, also could not take cognizance of it, though we try to tag them regularly, daily on our shows. So that is what at least Rajasthan High Court, kudos to Rajasthan High Court. It has taken a step forward, and I'll try to show you. The headline of today, unfortunately, we lost them. 25 on poll duty among 74 heat stroke deaths. At least 74 people, including 25 polling persons in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, succumbed to heat stroke in the last 48 hours. The maximum casualty was in Odisha, where the suspected heat stroke toll stood at 36. UP followed with 20, Bihar 14 and Jharkhand 4 in UP, 15 poll personnel, 13 in Mirzapur district and 2 in Sonbhadra district died following high fever and high blood pressure amid heat wave conditions. As for Bihar, most of the deaths were reported from Bhojpur, where 5 polling personnel succumbed to heat stroke. 3 other polling officials died in Rohtas, while Kalmur and Aurangabad districts reported 1 such death each. In Odisha, sunstroke fatalities were reported in Rourkela city, Jharsuguda, Sambalpur, and Balangar districts. In Jharsuguda, most of the victims were drivers by profession. In Jharkhand, over 1,300 people were admitted to hospitals due to heat-related issues. Heat wave conditions are expected to persist during the last phase of polling on Saturday. That means today too. The temperature sensor at Nagpur registered a maximum of 56 degrees on Thursday, but it was attributed to a sensor error a day later. How shameful this is. Whether you try to hide, the world already would have measured because of globalization. Mr. Rijiju, you cannot escape. It's a shame, and the Delhi heat wave is testing the limits of human endurance. Other hot countries should beware and prepare. Delhi is reeling from the most extreme heat wave India has ever seen. While the record-breaking maximum recorded temperature of 52.9 degrees has been called into question by India's meteorological department, it is entirely possible. The city has been sweltering with top temperatures ranging from 45.2 to 49.1 degrees at the limit of human endurance. This event can Election Commission of India officials come and tour without AC cars. I'm challenging you, Election Commission of India, all commissioners, come wearing the same suit without AC car. You come and tour without getting into AC hotels for your review meetings, without air conditioners. Can an ordinary man afford this? Can't you just understand that? And you need to have a special flight, special provisions for you to travel. And who are you? You are a constitutional authority. Who is the constitution? India, people. They are the constitution. And how can you ignore constitution, you being public servants? And then to an election commission which should function independently. In whose interest you are conducting these elections? Don't you want voters to come to the booth and vote? Because you have made everything online in this world except voting. And why voting should also be there only for one day? Why can't we have for more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks, from where people can vote? You take counter guarantees to verify the identity. All those KYC you call, know your voter here, KYV. But you did not heed. And see, Mr. Modi flies in such a big flight. Amit Shah, Rahul Gandhi, all the leaders, even small-time leaders also, Lallu Prasad Yadav party, Samajwadi party, BRS, BVSR, every party is having an helicopter to fly, AC cars to reach the venue, and ACs on the stage. Shamefully, Election Commission of India ignores the plight of common man or voter who comes to such meetings and a voter who goes to polling booth to vote. Are there any facilities? How sad it is. And is it not ignoring your boss? Why should they be neglected that way, Election Commission of India? You are taking the salaries paid by the taxes of this country people who are the voters. How dare you try to ignore them in spite of global warming about Asia and more particularly India? How many people are dying? And we need to have exact figures. Why? Because you have seen Rijiju, how he is trying to, Earth Science Minister, belittle IMD data, enforcing or forcing them to correct the corrected figures which they have released. So this is, and opposition party, as usual, tamasha, drama, and because everyone flies, everyone has got AC cars, everyone has got so many coolers and all on the stage. Now see Pradhana Mantri going to Kanyakumari again, and then happily so many ACs are there and he is on a meditation. Then Rahul Gandhi, all the leaders, local leaders, they are flying out of India to escape from this heat. But what wrong people like us we have done? That is a shameful thing. This event follows hot on the heels of extreme heat wave across Asia as well as the Sahel in Africa. Climate scientists have long warned these days would come. In spite of this data, Election Commission of India and Government of India, all political parties, you have IMD. How is that you have allowed elections to be held in an extreme heatful condition? That is the first biggest thing to understand. Why elections during this phase? Why not after the weather settles down? Why not either prepone it in between December and January when the weather condition is ideal for everyone to travel? And because political parties, their agendas, manifestos, people should understand. Only then they can go to the polling booth and vote. And there should not be any enticements or wrong 17C wherein the voters, original voters were not allowed to vote. But still, you find in 17C, 17A that they have voted. That means this type of booth capturing, which we witnessed before, now this is high scale, technology captured EVMs. If not what? If not what? That is why I was demanding right from 2018, forensic appraisals of the video footages in every polling booth along with 17A registers which we sign and 17C. All polling agents, including the polling officer, will sign to close that EVM before it reaches the strong room. What made them not to respond? They gave so many complaint IDs. Till today, they have not bothered to attend that issue because elections would have been countermanded as they have been exposed in Munugodu. Fortunately, India's current heat wave conditions are expected to ease over the coming days, but the death toll is likely to rise as people succumb to multiple health effects. Extreme heat has a long tail of destruction. Almost every chronic health condition is made worse by exposure to such temperatures. Australians should take note. We are not safe and we need. What does extreme heat do to people? When you are hot, your body tries to cool off by sweating. This involves sending blood to the surface. Blood vessels at the skin dilate and skin looks flushed, but this causes your blood pressure to fall. The heart has to work harder. We need to keep our core temperature around 36 to 37 degrees. If the surrounding air is hotter, the body's efforts to cool down can do just the opposite and absorb more heat. This is made worse during exercise when 80% of the energy produced by working muscles is heat. When we cannot shed that extra heat, our core temperature increases. At the microscopic level, cellular damage occurs. Extended heat exposure can lead to organ failure and death. I'm reading this so that the Supreme Court judges can understand what happens to the body under extreme heatful conditions, even after monsoon sets in. By that time, because of continued exposure to this extreme heat, the body has already invited the damage and the destruction, which I am trying to read so that Supreme Court of India will constitute a constitutional bench and take it SUO-MOTO and start trial against Election Commission of India, against the government of the day, and against all the political parties, because they are all responsible for this. The wet bulb globe temperature factors in the humidity of the atmosphere. High humidity means the air is already saturated with water. So sweat on our skin doesn't evaporate and we don't get the cooling mechanism. You just understand, once evaporation leads to cooling, this is what we say. That is how the monsoon happens. Our body is no different. That sweating, it should evaporate. But if you have such relative humidity, does it evaporate? Does it lead to the balancing mechanism of the temperature in the body? Not. That is why 33 degrees centigrade in dry Melbourne can be warm but tolerable, but 33 degrees in Darwin can feel stifling because of the relative humidity. In fact, you are not allowing the body to cool because you are not allowing the sweat to evaporate. It is not as if we could climb into so in public health, we talk about extreme heat having a long tail in a statistical sense. The number of excess death spikes during and immediately after the heat wave, but death rates don't drop back to zero straight away. Organ damage is a likely cause. Mass heat death events are a relatively new phenomena, so the detailed understanding of the physiological mechanics is still lacking. See, I'm just trying to get you this official data so that people can understand. Heat wave scare grows as Nagpur boils at 56 degrees. All eyes on monsoon. See, the common man's plight. This is what I'm trying to. Just days after Delhi experienced record-breaking heat at 52.9 degrees Celsius, the temperature in Nagpur has now exceeded 50 degrees Celsius. On Thursday, it reached a whooping 56 degrees Celsius. The Times of India reported 2 of the 4 automatic weather stations set up by the Indian Meteorological Department, IMD, in Nagpur recorded unusually high temperatures exceeding 50 degrees Celsius, surpassing even the Mungeshwar AWS in northwest Delhi, which recorded high temperatures on Wednesday. The Nagpur AWS, located in the 24-hectare open agriculture field at PDKU in Ram Daspeth of North Ambazari Road, recorded an astounding 60 degrees Celsius. The AWS at the Regional Meteorological Center in Sonegaon also recorded 54 degrees Celsius. Heat wave in Delhi breaks record. I am giving you all the statistics because Drtspr channel believes in making shows as per rule of law, constitution, invoking evidential act. Constitution, the rights are being, taken away by exposing innocent voters to this extreme heat wave. Election Commission of India, in spite of having 4 warnings about Asia and everything, it has deliberately ignored. Is it so? Because you don't want genuine voters to come, including me. We lost the vote. We don't know where our votes are, in spite of complaining from September 2023. Till this day, Election Commission of India, Telangana Chief Electoral Officer, GHMC Municipal Commissioner or Hyderabad Collector, they did not bother to act. If this is the condition, the elections in these heat waves are nothing but, is it an eyewash? That is why I am making all this so that I am ready for any inquiry. Supreme Court SUO-MOTO, because my complaints are there. August 5th, 2020, under Chief Justice Bob Deji, it was almost taken SUO-MOTO, but I don't know the reasons best known to them. They have abandoned it. And I have got so many complaint IDs, even today, by Election Commission of India on 2018 complaint of constitutional violation with evidences. Till today, they have not bothered. So that is why I am trying to. Then we'll go to. So at least we are thankful to Rajasthan. But what is that we have done on 4-5, trying to give you a glimpse of Drtspr channels under wonderful guests like BV Subbarao. Welcome to Drtspr show. This is Dr. Tangella Shivaprasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab. Hello and a warm welcome to BV Subbarao Garu, the most experienced octogenarian when it comes to issues, public issues. In a transparent and accountable way, we try to disseminate. ప్రజా సమస్యలు పారదర్శకంగా జవాబుదారితనంతో ప్రజలకు చేర్చడంలో దిట్ట బివి సుబ్బారావు గారు. అదేవిధంగా ఇది కనువిప్పు కలగాల ప్రభుత్వాలకు. This should be an eye opener for the respective governments. And this show is very particularly to the governance. Now elections are happening across India for parliament and in some states for assembly too, like Andhra Pradesh. Is Election Commission of India and all the chief electoral officers of the states, are they not aware what weather conditions would be like when they go for polling, whether it is first phase in April or the second phase and third phase and like that, so and so. Because the election schedule has been announced in March, and respective states, they held a meeting with all chief electoral officers along with Election Commission of India. Are Election Commission of India officials not given any information by Indian Meteorological Department? Elections are for what? Rights and resources. The voters, they themselves are the constitution. They have to come to the polling booths and vote in a free and fair election. But the circumstances, how bad they are, we came to know it in way back in February, March itself. But still, Election Commission of India went ahead. Now there is again fight between percentages. I'll come back. When percentages will come with the polled votes. But how is that polled votes are not being, that is another concern. But whether the political parties are they able to reach? I'm not talking about those political parties who have got money through electoral bonds, rich political parties, but what about ordinary political parties, independent candidates? Are they able to reach the citizens, voters? Are the voter citizens able to attend any meeting without any health hazards? And are the farmers happy because extreme heat conditions are heavy rainfall, destroying crops, destroying the farmers hardened this thing. Sir, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Shiv-Prasad Reddy. The heat wave this year, it started with a big bang in second week of February. And Election Commission announced the schedule in March itself. I'm sure the Election Commission office might have consulted with the Meteorological Department. This year, unusually, the entire Indian subcontinent reached an average heat of 44 degrees temperatures. Whether it is Gujarat, Hyderabad, Kerala, or West Bengal, even in UP, the temperatures are the common now. The entire India transformed itself successfully. Another Rajasthan. Okay? And soon we may head towards a desertification in the entire country.
Vishwaguru.
We are not discussing on these issues, and these issues are also not figuring in the election campaigns. Okay? My worry is why the entire Indian subcontinent and China,
This show was done on 4th May.
The political parties, they enjoyed 5-star polling rathas.
Yeah, modern rathas.
Okay, 5-star polling rathas.
Yeah.
And utilizing 3 or 4 times the diesel to keep them cool under that. Once in a while, they pop up like a rat. And, giving the slogans and calling all the names to the opposition parties or other parties. What happens to the people? Reports are already saying that the voter turnout may be very low this year because of this heat. So what is that we are? We are neither planning for any kind of prediction studies, nor preparing ourselves to organize a fair and elections under this hot wave. At the same time, government itself says under disaster management, don't come out between 11 and then is the voting is between the 6 and 10. And again, from 4 to 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the evening, I appeal the election commission to change it. Why can't they sit with so much of power? If you are conducting elections, you have to think of it. You have to come out. Do we have first aid medical kits for those who get the heat stroke? I have no idea. I have not come across any such or we do not have the manpower to control. We do not have the effective communication systems. And how we are going to ensure free and fair elections. Are we discussing about this, my dear election commissioner? No, we are not discussing. People are only, discussing on how many seats they have to get it, or how do they buy the MPs? You see, this is before announcing the election schedule. To what extent they have consulted the IMD office, and there are no guidelines or the instructions, informative instructions from the elections office, neither at the national level nor at the state level. How do we address the heat waves, ensure safe, comfortable polling? And none of the polling booths will have a shelter, the queue lines. People have to stand under the scorching temperatures. So, do we have first aid medical kits for those who get the heat stroke? I have no idea. I have not come across any such medical aid available at the polling booths. It's time for the election commission to review back, if necessary, postpone the elections, or prepare on war footing all this fair, comfortable polling, ensuring a comfortable, waiting for the senior citizens, separate line for the senior citizens. You have to think of it. You have to come out with a schedule. Otherwise, I do not know how people will react to this. We need to look into it. And another, pertaining doubt I am getting. What will be the performance efficiency of EVMs under this 45 degrees temperature?
Yes.
This is another. That is EVM versus ballot paper debate is going on. So this is another thing. And how do we ensure? Are we going to increase the polling? Or are we going to take the ballot box to the gated communities? How do we ensure a comfortable polling and a healthy polling? Are we increasing the polling booths? Are we providing the first aid kits? And
so this was on 4th May. Reached by intelligence.
It's a party और आप सब invited हैं क्योंकि बेला वीटा की big birthday sale is now live.
Agencies, these leaders, their associates are very well protected. But weather warnings across India, heat waves are happening. Don't come out after 10. When
Yes.
such is the case, don't you think malpractices or money can be transferred, alcohol can be transferred, and there can be so many other malpractices which can happen in between 10 and 3? And if the same applies to all those officials, if officials also sit at home in that heat wave, then how can you think this will be a free and fair election, sir?
You see, first thing is I tell you, it is likely that it may promote bogus voters. Okay? So these days, people are using all kinds of gloves and other things and all, I don't know. Because, people who master the malpractices, they also master the art of technology. So, as you rightly pointed out, between 11 and 3 or 10 and 3, we do not know how it's going. We will be sitting before the TV and seeing the voters, poor voters turn out and all. But God knows, in the first phase, I am myself shocked. It's almost touched at 66%, in spite of the heat wave.
That's what, that beats my intelligence, sir. See, I'm coming, now I'm dividing it. Now we will come to polling day, but before polling day, the malpractices, how can be a free and fair election can be held if the heat wave persists? And they are also human beings, all those officials, right from top to as home guard who have to take care. And election commission officials have to go around. Random and frequent checkings across the roads. Are these officials not human beings? Are these weather warnings do not apply to them? If they apply to them, what would happen in between that 10 or 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.? Can't money be transferred? Can alcohol be transferred? Can enticements happen, defeating free and fair election?
No. It leads to a lot of doubts. And election commission has to respond to such questions. And most burning issue is what is the agenda for purpose for conducting the elections?
That's it. That is defeated.
Okay. That is defeated. You see, in a democratic process, we conduct the elections to encourage the participatory percentage of the citizens. In usual conditions only, the citizens are losing their interest because of various factors. Under such harsh climatic conditions, how do we ensure? And at the same time, with so much of science and technology, why we got stuck only at the EVM level?
Yeah.
You see, probably we may explore the possibilities of online voting also.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Online voting, as it
Why
happens in
can't
America.
Why can't we in Indian conditions?
We copy
That
America for
we could-
everything. America online voting is there right from your home. You check the KYC.
Why not we promote online voting? You see, none of the political parties will support this, because they have their own hidden agendas. Okay.
Ruling or opposition, they have their own
Citizens have to make the pressure on the system for online. We claim ourselves, we are going to be a third economy and a leading technology hub in the world. Yes, we are providing, trained manpower in the IT sector and everything. Then why we are not able to utilize the same IT sector services at the domestic level?
Now I'll put it this way to you, sir.
We should.
I will put it
Please.
this way to you. For all transfers, welfare schemes, and even the money transactions, UPI, everything is done online and through a simple mobile. Such huge transactions of cash, our fortune, and even for registrations, online money transfers, online government welfare scheme. They are putting money online into their bank
Land,
account.
la-
When they-
land registrations.
Land registrations online, health registrations online. When everything is online, how come voting is not online? Why is there?
Telemedicine.
Telemedicine also now they are exploring. More than that, your fortunes are your money. You are paying money from home through your UPI ID, through your mobile phone. That is the biggest thing, Nazar. Your fortune, your money, you are transferring for any business. When you are buying something online, everything is bought online.
Brings out some regulations and,
Yeah, this is what
We have
I just wanted to bring it
revolutionized
to your notice.
online
What we have
digital.
done on 4th May, it is coming out true now. We have warned you, Election Commission of India, online also facility. You have ignored it. And now you see why when you have such leaders.
Stopping us. The reason we could not be stopped by force is because we were weaving around near the truth. And what was really interesting to me was it didn't matter how much force the other side had.
Investigating a girl child lifts up the entire family. Nearly 400,000 miles of political fiber, optical fiber cables and cheap data have ushered in.
Why, for example, are they just not physically stopping us? The reason we could not be stopped by force is because we were weaving around near the truth. And what was really interesting to me was it didn't matter how much force the other side had.
Investigating a girl child lifts up the entire family. Nearly 400,000 miles of political fiber, optical fiber cable.
Because of this type of leaders, are we suffering? Precious lives are being lost. It has become a joke for the people of those who conduct. And the other side of the coin, Rahul Gandhi ji, you fly and you have caravans, you have AC cars. What about common man, polling officer sitting in those extreme heat conditions? So this has been going around. I'm trying to just show you. If you have such leaders, don't you think people have to suffer? Unfortunately, see, 25 on poll duty among 74 heat stroke deaths. Innocent people are dying across India, including polling officials. And these political leaders go out in modern AC rathas, modern planes, special planes. And after this thing, as if they have done great service, they fly out of India to different parts of the world. Thankfully, climate change has created their own this thing. In entire world, the same thing is prevailing. But better facilities than they can travel AC car, AC ratham, and AC planes. And what about the innocent officials? And more than that, the India means people, means voters. What about their fate? At least now, Election Commission of India should be taken to task on why they have conducted elections in these extreme heat conditions, knowing very well the IMD reports in advance, as well as the world itself warning when the entire Asia was to go through a heat wave. Where was the need and necessity to conduct elections in this heat wave without any proper facilities, either to the polling staff or to the voters who were standing in a queue? And you see the fate of Hyderabad, Revanth Reddy Garu, at every junction, traffic junction, they were trying to put some sheets. Wind took them away. But what about polling booths? Don't you think democracy, if it has to survive, voting is very important? Can a voter go and vote in such harshful conditions? Can a polling officer in those makeshift polling booths, can they stay bereft of the effects of heat? And why polling booths were not increased? If you have 10, you should have made 50 polling booths so that they will go and vote and come back. And why these polling officials, many of them, they said no to even training. And how good these polling officials who have conducted elections, were they trained or not? That data also should be revealed. With due respects to all those polling officials, they are also human beings. If they are denying because of the fear of this heat or across the family conditions or other reasons, that is why without properly planning and preparing, right from enumeration of votes, wherein people like us, we lost our votes, shamefully Election Commission of India, right from September 2023, they did not bother to correct that mistake. And if you are going with this fault electoral rolls and that extreme heat conditions, will it be a free and fair election? Why you could not do it online when the entire cash will be transferred? And you only stated disaster management in every state, including central government of India warned, don't come out in between 10 and 3, 11 and 3. Is it not true? The same Lieutenant Governor, he said 12 noon to 3 p.m. it will be a paid time wherein the laborers are allowed to relax, move away from the heat, much against Rijuju, who was the Earth Science Minister, trying to influence Indian Meteorological Department readings. So this is how it is. Now we expect Supreme Court of India to take its SUO-MOTO as done by Rajasthan High Court. It has issued notices to both state and central governments, everyone, but whether they have acted or not, that is a mystery again. That is why I had to do this show, compelled to do this show in spite of 4 warnings, as I tag everyone, right from Supreme Court, Election Commission of India, to chief electoral officers. When people are dying, innocent people are dying, who should be blamed? Supreme Court, take its SUO-MOTO. And in these extreme heatful conditions, when political Rajas, whether it is Prime Minister Rahul Gandhi, Mamata Banerjee, or KCR, or YSRCP, or Chandrababu Naidu, see how our actors, film actors, see Rajinikanth flying to Uttarakhand. That is why we questioned him. There also it was heat wave prevailing, but they have special provisions to escape. Then Pawan Kalyan, all these stars, how they survive. And even you have seen the reports of Pawan Kalyan suffering from heat stroke. In spite of taking those precautions, Mr. Pawan Kalyan, what about the common man, common voter? Will you consider this as a free and fair election? And who should be held responsible for all those deaths because of heat prevailing in India? And it has been forewarned much earlier to March, when Election Commission of India issued polling notices. So who is to be blamed? Now, at least I hope Supreme Court of India will constitute a constitutional bench, because this is nothing but making mockery of people participatory constitutional democracy. Thank you very much. Anyone can participate. My mobile number is 94404-65339, to which even Google Pay and PhonePe is attached. I don't invite anyone to my home or in-person meeting. If you want to support, this is the mobile number. And if you want to differ with me, this is the same mobile number to which WhatsApp is attached. Share all your data, because our show is as per rule of law, Constitution, invoking Evidential Act, as we have done the 4th May show very clearly with B.V. Subbarao Garu as the guest in. We have warned Election Commission of India and all those concerned agencies, including tagging them to Supreme Court. But unfortunately, no one acted, leading to this severe crisis wherein precious lives, including the lives of police officers, are being lost. And mind you, I have shown you, if you are exposed to this heat wave, even after monsoon sets in, the destruction which will happen in your body is also on your screen, which I have narrated to you. Let Supreme Court take its SUO-MOTO. We are ready to provide all the information, because this show also will be tagged to them, and what damage it would have done by exposing those innocent party workers, innocent voters, and innocent people who have come to such meetings in large numbers. They wanted to show, they wanted to influence political party after political party. What damage, collateral damage this exposure to heat waves could have done should be properly investigated in every state, every district, every panchayat, taking into consideration the sufferings after exposure to this extreme heatful conditions. They are all man-made. When we are trying to destroy Himalayas, glaciers, and occupying forest in the name of development and destroying green cover areas, what will happen other than these extreme heat waves, or you have a sudden downpour destroying agriculture, wherein famine, food becomes scarier, and much before that, can you really survive? Can you really overcome the effects of your exposure to this extreme heatful conditions? So this is for day. It's shaming. It's shame. And again, once again, our heart goes with all those precious lives. We pray for their souls to rest in peace. And we sincerely send our condolences to those families. At least now, India, people, citizens, voters should raise and start questioning, because you are the boss. Rest are, they're all public servants. How come a public servant dictates the boss? That is India, that is the constitution, that is the people, voters. How dare they are? How can they do this to us when they, public servants or politicians, they try to enjoy every benefit to escape from this heat while putting the India people to these extreme heatful conditions. Thank you very much. Do support DRTSPR channel, Citizen DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channel. They are all in larger public interest only. Jai Hind.